here. The very first reason we fall for these girls is that they're attractive. And guys, don't come at me with fat, ugly girls who sleep around. Dude, nobody falls in love with fatties except for extremely low value men who are not interested in raising their value. Yes, low value men watch and they read me and they listen to me, but these are guys who are interested in raising their value. These are guys who are interested in improving themselves as men. Whether you're high value or aspiring to be high value, you're not falling in love with fat, ugly girls who are easy. At best, you use them for the occasional slump buster, and even then, I would strongly advise against sleeping with these kinds of women. But the reason we fall in love with these kinds of girls is because they're attractive. And as men, we want to be with attractive women. Not difficult to understand there. Guys, a lot of promiscuous women are attractive. Some are very attractive, and some of them are even hot. The hotter the girl, the easier you'll fall in love. You know it, I know it, and of course, they know it. And don't be meathead red pill guy and come at me with, well, I don't care how hot she is. Yeah, you do. Of course you do. We all do. We are men, and as men, we are visually motivated. Only when you understand what motivates you as a man can you be self-aware enough to understand that the reason you're catching feelings for the purple-haired tattoo wannabe Instagram model you're sleeping with is because she's got a nice set of boobs, a flat stomach, and a pretty face that looks even prettier when it's wrapped around your junk. Just keep it real. Promiscuous women are attractive. Number 2. The second reason it's so easy to fall in love with promiscuous women, they're really, really, really good in bed. Guys, these girls have had years of practice honing their skills in bed. You know what the saying goes, practice makes perfect. And trust me when I tell you, the best sex you will ever have is with girls who sleep around. And don't come at me with the, yeah, well, I'd rather have a virgin. Yeah, no shit. We all would. But I'm told that sex with virgins is terrible. Now, I'm sure they get better with practice, but the more experienced a woman is between the sheets, the better experience she can provide us sexually. Guys, promiscuous women will give you a sexual experience like no other. They know how to move. They know how to squeeze your package with every hole in their body. They know how to look good during sex. They know how to sound. They know what to say. They give unbelievable BJs. Right? They swallow. They let you blast your loads in their faces. These chicks straight up give you the porn star experience because they have as much, if not more, sexual experience as porn stars themselves. Every one of us in here has spanked the monkey to pornography. A lot of us either have or had a porn addiction, myself included. I used to have a porn addiction. And listen, let's keep it 100. The things that female adult film stars do on screen is nothing short of magical. Yes, I said magical. And don't be the I hate porn guy. Dude, porn is awesome. We all know it. You got the hottest girls with the hottest bodies, beautiful faces, performing sexual acts, and looking great while doing it. That's why it's great, and that's why it's addictive. When you get with a girl who sucks, moans, swallows, and lets you do anything you want to her, guess what, gentlemen? That's addictive. And if she's even half decent looking, if she's a 6, you'll get hooked. And before you know it, your brain is releasing dopamine, which is exactly the same chemical, as it happens, that it releases when you're feeling what you believe is love. I'll tell you a quick story. I remember this one girl I used to sleep with. Her name was Juliet. I've told you guys about her before. She lived for being absolutely abused in bed. I used to slap her. I used to choke her. I used to spit in her face. I used to call her all kinds of vile names. I'd pull her hair when I'm nutting in her face and tell her she's a worthless cum dumpster. Juliet loved painful anal sex, guys, and she would tell me to pound her harder. She would literally cry while I was doing it. I used to tell her we used to have this hot, sweaty sex. I used to tell her to lick the sweat off me, and she'd do it like she was dying of thirst. I'd leave this chick in a sweaty, heaping mess with cum and spit all over her face and all over her body. And after she caught her breath, she'd be like, oh my God, I love you so much. I mean, this chick was damaged beyond repair in every way, shape, or form. Guys, I loved having sex with Juliet, and I can guarantee you that her notch count was pushing triple digits. Promiscuous women are good at sex, guys, and this is why it's easy to fall in love with these kinds of women. Number 3, and this one is very, very important, and I really need you guys to listen up here. Promiscuous women tell us things that bypass our common sense and rationality. Girls who sleep around are professionals at bypassing a man's rational thinking and activating that provider and that protector instinct that causes us to become possessive over her. What I mean is that they know exactly what to do and what to say that will cause a man's common sense to be overridden by his biological hard drive to possess a woman's body. We've already talked about 2 of the things that make them very easy to fall in love with, which is looking good and being great in bed. The better a woman looks, the more leeway we tend to give her in terms of bad behavior. The more we like having sex with any given woman, the more we have the more we have sex with great looking women, the longer we keep her around, despite the fact that she might be terrible company. Simple math. But because of the internet, and really more specifically the red pill, more and more men are becoming more aware that great-looking women who are great in bed, or both, are almost guaranteed to be poorly behaved. Now, that doesn't mean that we're not still suckered in by her good looks and her great oral skills. But the fact that we're more cognizant of the fact that these women are a freaking handful makes us just a tiny bit less susceptible to their foolishness. Not enough to make that big of a difference, but enough to make them step up their game in terms of what they say to regain full control of the male id, which is very important for them to do if they're trying to play like a fiddle, if they're trying to get their hooks in you. We as men, we all have what I like to call our password. We all have that one thing that a woman can say or do that will completely disarm us and make us completely ignore her red flags. And I'll tell you what one of my passwords used to be. I feel safe with you. Dude, I give myself a boner just saying it to myself. When a woman says this to me, I feel safe to you, it used to override all of my programming and made me completely vulnerable to whatever it is she wanted to do. I remember this one Ukrainian or Russian girl. I think she was Ukrainian when I was in Vegas. Her name was Tatiana. She may have been Russian. I can't remember, but her name was Tatiana. I actually talked about her yesterday. Beautiful girl. Gorgeous girl. Long blonde hair. Dude, gorgeous sky blue eyes. Now, she did have small boobs, which was kind of a drawback, but she had an unbelievable ass, which more than made up for her small bra size. Anyway, Tatiana and I were walking down Flamingo Road, and I'll never forget this. And we go to cross the street, and I reached over and I pulled her back to the sidewalk because there was a motorcycle speeding along the side of the road. Now, Tatiana was maybe, 105, maybe 106 after she ate a shrimp salad, which was her favorite food in the world. So I was able to just kind of yank her back to me. She looked me in the eye and said, Donovan, I feel so safe with you. In her thick Ukrainian accent. And I was like, no! It was like when Achilles caught that arrow in his Achilles heel. I knew she had disarmed me, guys. I knew that she had just bypassed all of my Red Pill programming, but there was nothing I could do about it. You guys ever seen that movie, Awake? It was like Hayden Christensen's character in the movie Awake when he wakes up mid-surgery because the anesthesia has worn off, but he couldn't move or talk, but he could still feel everything. He knew he was vulnerable, but there was nothing he could do about it. Fast forward. Turns out, Tatiana had a boyfriend the entire time I was dating her. And when I found out about it, guys, I was sick. Oh my God, dude. It took me a good long while to completely get over her. Like I said yesterday, man, that heartbreak was almost as bad as my heartbreak with Amy. And if you're a patron, you're going to hear about that story on Friday at 5 p.m. when I release episode 4, The Worst Heartbreak of My Life. Anyway, Tatiana had scores of red flags. But when she told me she felt safe with me, it completely blinded me to all of those things. And because of that, she was able to play me like a fiddle. I was the side dude who thought he was the main dude. I'm here to tell you guys, that is a rude awakening. And guys, it took me such a long time to get over her because I really loved her. Like, I really loved her. I thought she was different. in a lot of ways, but looking back, she was really no different from any other Vegas slut who slept around, right? Okay, so she had an accent. She had these beautiful eyes I'd never seen before. And, you know, she was from Eastern Europe, but she was just like the typical American girl who sleeps around and plays games and lies. Girls like to say stuff like, well, I have so much fun with you. I've never met anyone like you before. I could see us together in the future. Stop me when you hear some of these, guys. Some of these are your passwords. I would love to give you your first child. You make me feel like no one else ever has. You've heard that before? I'm afraid of you because you could hurt me. I think I'm falling in love with you. That's the big one. A lot of guys share that password. Used to be one of mine before I found the red pill. Tatiana once told me that she wanted to have a little boy who was just like me. She said, Donovan, I want a small copy of you. I want to have a little boy who is just like you. Guys, I am 5-6 years into the red pill, and I'm actually entertaining thoughts of having a kid with this girl. I'm not kidding. There are dozens more of these hacks to the male brain, and every one of us has at least one that a woman could or has used to make you ignore the fact that she's got blue hair, a neck tattoo, 2 kids, an alpha ex-boyfriend she can't stop talking about who disappears from Friday night to Sunday morning. Tatiana had a high-paying job, number one. Number two, she worked in a field that required her to travel a lot, right? So she had a boyfriend and she was sleeping with me. How much you want to bet she was sleeping with other guys while she was on the road, right? Number three, she was constantly surrounded by wealthy men. And number four, she only FaceTimed me when she was on her porch at home smoking. Red flags as clear as day, guys. But because she told me she felt safe with me, because she told me she wanted a small copy of me, I ignored all of it, and she ended up getting the best of me. And like I said, man, the breakup with her hurt me almost as much as my breakup with Amy. Real talk, guys. I'm keeping it all the way real here. Know what your password is, guys. Find out what your hack is and be aware of what it is. Because these girls will find out what it is. Trust me, and better than 9 times out of 10, they find out before you do. And when they do, and you don't know about it, it is game over. Gentlemen, I speak from personal experience. Do not ignore this advice.